Sorry, guys. Be right there. Son of a bitch. Hold on, hold on.
RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's going on, everybody? This is Tara Devlin. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, Jesus, help me. Oh, well. What can you do? Yeah, we meet here every whatever. Well, we have a Friday night show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30. In the vicinity, in that area, in the area of 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster, and other places like sometimes on Rockfin if it connects. It doesn't seem to be doing though. Whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it now. Look at my face. It's supposed to be a better camera. I blame the camera. It looks very metallic to me. I don't know what the hell's going on. But who cares? Who cares? What matters is we're here together. And we are all... Well, what else? I got something in my face. And... Okay, SoundCloud, all the regular places. Please give the show a good review on iTunes. That helps keep the show going and growing. And the show is also carried by APS Radio News, which is an incredibly, it's very nice to be on APS Radio News, run by an incredible person, Charlie. And it's another independent media aggregate and host. So I really appreciate being a member or being supported on APS Radio News. I don't even know how to put it. But how's it going? Thank you, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate. Does everything seem weird? Does this camera seem fucking weird? I don't know. Maybe it's me. All right. Hello. I see the chat filling up. I see you, Jim. Thank you so much for your moderating duties in the chat and also your super chat. We do need moderators, We get some trolls sometimes, but I always consider that a compliment, really. If they're annoyed, that means we're doing it correctly. But that's fine because whatever. What do they have? It's really they have nothing, right? And that's what did I call tonight's show? Nick Fuentes is the Republican Party, because there's no daylight between them. I've been saying it for years. Thank you, Winston. Winston says the camera looks good and sounds good. Thank you. I'm glad to know. I have body dysmorphic disorder, which basically means when I look in the mirror, I want to smack my parents. What the hell were they thinking getting together? Whatever. It's my brain. I don't know. Sometimes you just don't want to look at yourself. But I can see it. I don't care. I'm saying I don't care. I'm just trying to talk myself into not caring. But, when I'm in a better whatever. Sometimes, you know how it is. whatever. We're always so critical of ourselves. We're our own worst critics, I hear. Other people suffer the same. So I'm with you 100%. That's the last thing we need is any trolls coming on here. And that's what they do. You know, they're just horrible people, inside and out. They really are. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Terry, for your compliment. And everyone else hanging out. Diffuse OG, I like your face. Thank you. I like your face, too. I really do. I like seeing everybody in the chat. And I like, I like that, we're in this together. We're not alone. And we're up against, it seems insurmountable sometimes, but I was having a conversation with Robin Kincaid yesterday, and exactly, Jim on the chat says, better than being a skeezy little Nazi. Yeah, true that. But Robin and I were talking yesterday, and yeah, it's a horrible time to be alive in a lot of ways, to share the same air with so many horrible people. But let me explain. It's not that we have more horrible people. There are always horrible people, and no matter what. It's a matter of, do you give them power? All throughout the history of humanity, there's been horrible people. And when the horrible people are in control, it's bad. It's bad for everybody. Thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. It means a lot. Another great show, Tara. Thank you. It's only great when you show up. There'd be no show without you guys. So, yeah. I almost talked myself out of doing a show today. Do you realize that? Because I was in, kind of feeling depressed. I think it's the seasonal affective disorder. What time is it? It's only 9, but the sun goes down like 5 p.m. and I feel like it's midnight out there. And I just want to go and crawl in under my covers. And I knew that if I did that, I would kick myself. It's only worse, when you feed that stinking thinking, it makes it worse. So I forced myself. And I also promised I'd do a show, too. That was the other thing. So I need to do that. Post it more often. Just post, like, tonight we're going to have a show. So I don't talk myself out of it. Because when I post it, I have to, because I promised, so I have to keep my promise. So, yeah. Unless something happened, But I was talking with Robin, and, Robin is a trans woman. And I do worry about her because she lives in West Virginia. Oh, shit. Hold on. Francis, get off him. Hold on a second. Francis, get there. Get. Everybody's messed up. Francis he's been jumping on Tara Jr.'s back. And I don't like that part about him. And the odd part is that Francis doesn't have a penis. Okay? He has no penis. Well, that's what, it's in his mind. He still has a penis in his mind. So he's trying to mount Tara Jr. And, yeah. It's annoying. And I hate that. I just don't want, Tara Jr. is he's not a spring chicken. He don't need this shit. He don't need to be sexually assaulted by my other cat. Yeah, it's Francis. Francis is trying to mount Tara Jr. He just grabs him by the back of the neck. It's really annoying. It's like, Wah! He makes this noise. I'm like, oh my God. Yes. Okay, what was I saying? So we were talking about how, I do worry about her because she lives in West Virginia, and there's, it's just a scary time to have a target on, every trans person has a target on their back now. Yeah, because of the Republican Party. They have nothing else. They can only there's they don't care. It's all about money. Ultimately, money and power. And right now, trans people especially, there are others, of course, gay people, immigrants, all different targeted minority groups. So it's, the usual targets. But then now trans people are really getting attacked because there's a lot of, it's the combination of people, not understanding. I don't know how many times I heard when I was growing up, just being gay, right? And listening to the right wingers talk about how, I just don't understand. You don't have to fucking understand. Who cares that you don't understand? That's not a requirement for anybody else to live their life. If you don't understand, shut your mouth. Shut your ignorant hole and learn, maybe learn something. But they don't want to learn. It's like that Matt Walsh documentary, What is a Woman? And we've eviscerated that on the show many times, but he doesn't care. He's not trying to actually figure it out. Like what is a woman? I mean, forget about it. Matt Walsh, there's something wrong with him. Yeah, as we know, Freud would have to hang up his shingle. I believe he's somehow repressed. It's like the same thing with Alex Jones. I believe he is he's in a closet. He's either a trans person in the closet or gay in the closet. He's a self-loathing closet case in some form. And so I believe, that's why he's so angry and hateful. And the same thing with Matt Walsh. There's something fundamentally wrong with him. Oh, wait, let me lower that. We don't really need that tonight. That's for tomorrow night. So, yes. And Josh Hawley. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing I knew when I was writing the list of things we were to talk about tonight, I wanted to play that Madison. I forgot to write it down in the description. But the Madison Cawthorn thing, that the last speech he gives to Congress, because, I guess he showed up for work because, he abandoned his post. As soon as he lost the primary, he was like, fuck you, I'm out of here. And he left and went to Florida. And his office was empty, completely empty. There was no one answering the phones. There's no constituent services because, he sums it up. That's the Republican Party. They don't give a shit about the people, constituent services. If they gave a shit about the people, they wouldn't be attacking trans people. They wouldn't spread ignorance, and they wouldn't be attacking trans people, not just for the trans community, not just for the trans people themselves, but for the entire community, because we don't need to be at each other's throats. There's no reason for it. Except to divide and conquer your community, to divide people, to get them distracted, to get them fighting each other rather than pointing their fingers where it belongs, at the top. And nothing is more emblematic of the fact that the divide and conquer has been so far successful. That it could be summed up by the fact that the United States stands alone as the only country without any kind of paid sick leave, which is just what I thought of today when, once again, the worker gets shafted. 7 days paid sick leave. And that can't happen. That can't happen in this Congress. People with paid sick leave vote against working people getting paid sick leave. I mean, there is nothing more filthy than that. Filthy and disgusting. Oh, but, I have to wonder, about the rail workers in this. I'm telling you, they're not all voting Democratic. And not that the Democrats are innocent either. Both parties are bought by big moneyed interests. It's just that one party is completely bought and the other one is at least trying to throw you a bone now and then. But the problem is money in politics. And you're gonna dance with the ones who brought you to the party. So I mean, it's all connected with the fact. I mean, just everything that we're talking about. All of this bullshit that goes on with attacking trans people because they don't give a shit. How many people die, how much blood is in the streets, how many prayer vigils, how many thoughts and fucking prayers, nothing's going to change. They will, and as we saw, their response to yet another fucking mass shooting was to double down on their anti-trans rhetoric, right? And also, they're not doing shit about guns, and then to complain, and not complain, but to say that the real problem is mental illness, another issue they do nothing about, another issue they vote against. We don't. The United States stands alone as the only country without universal health care, right? I mean, it's all of it. It can be boiled down to I mean, it's all connected to the fact that they turn the people against each other. And you have to, I have to wonder how many of the union, and for those who don't know what happened is where was it? The Senate, the House passed a couple months ago, the rail workers were going on strike. And the strike was averted or postponed or whatever. And so the Senate, the House passed a bill and it went to the Senate. And the Senate failed to, the Senate averted the strike, but they forced the rail workers to accept a contract without paid sick leave. And just 7 days, just 7 fucking motherfucking days. But, of course, one Democrat voted against it in the Senate. Guess who? Joe Manchin, of course, the piece of shit himself. Hello. The fact that now there's a runoff in Georgia and where we need one extra vote. Please give me an effing break. And the fact that it's even close in Georgia is vile. They want some douchebag who thinks werewolves or who can kill vampires. I think he's wrong on that too. No, werewolves cannot kill vampires. He's wrong on every level. But that's the best you got, though. When you're a Republican, you just, they just run. It's like Johnny Bravo. He fits the suit. It's like Sarah Palin. She ticked off certain boxes. It didn't matter that she was completely unfit and unqualified. Not just because she's an ignorant moron, but because she lacked the emotional intelligence. That's one of the things that Steve Schmidt said about her, that she was mean, that she wasn't nice to people. She just had a bad and not very nice personality. And that's the kind of person you want in the White House, right? This is who they are, though. It's all a sham. It's all a fucking show. And yeah, it makes me sick because it's everybody's expendable. Everybody is, whatever. It doesn't matter who gets shot down. If they can get some political play on fucking with your life, somehow, then you will be sacrificed at the altar of their disgustingness, their greed, and their ultimate desire is to destroy democracy. Everybody, well, not everybody, but FDR in particular. Let me see. FDR quote. What I'm thinking about the FDR quote. We talked about the privileged princes. Privileged princes. And yeah, he nailed it. He friggin' nailed it. Let's see if I got it here. How do you spell privilege? Princes. Privilege. What the hell? Power? I'm just looking for this part in the speech. I know I can paraphrase it. The privileged princes. Let's see. The very word freedom in itself and of necessity suggests freedom from some restraining power. This is from Roosevelt's acceptance speech. His renomination acceptance speech in 1936. Let me see. I'm just looking for the Oh, here it is. Economic royalist speech. Let's see. This fucking thing keeps trying to make me annotate it. Let me see. The very word freedom in itself and of necessity suggests freedom from some restraining power. In 1776, we sought freedom from the tyranny of the political autocracy, from the 18th century royalists who held special privileges from the crown. It was to perpetuate their privilege that they governed without consent of the governed, that they denied the right of free assembly and free speech, and that they restricted the worship of God, that they put the average man's property and the average man's life in pawn to the mercenaries of dynastic power, that they regimented the people. And so to win freedom from the tyranny of the political autocracy and that the American Revolution was fought, that victory gave the business of governing into the hands of the average man, who won the right with his neighbors to make order his own destiny through his own government. Political tyranny was wiped out in Philadelphia on July 4th, 1776. Well, we know, not for everybody, but since that struggle, however, man's inventive genius released new forces in our land which reordered the lives of our people. The age of machinery, railroads, and steam, and electricity, the telegraph, the radio, mass production, mass distribution, all of these combined to bring forward a new civilization with a new problem for those who sought to remain free. For out of this modern civilization, economic royalists carved new dynasties. New kingdoms were built upon concentration of control over material things. Through new uses of corporations, banks, and securities, new machinery of industry and agriculture, of labor and capital, all undreamed of by the fathers. The whole structure of modern life was impressed into this royal service. There was no place among this royalty for our many thousands of small businessmen and merchants who sought to make worthy the use of the American system of initiative and profit. They were no more free than the worker or the farmer. This sounds so, this is today, okay? Today, because we're in the second Gilded Age. So they were no more free than the worker or the farmer. Even honest and progressive-minded men of wealth, aware of their obligation to their generation, could never know just where they fitted into this dynastic scheme of things. It was natural and perhaps human that the privileged princes of these new economic dynasties, thirsting for power, reached out for control over government itself. They created a new despotism and wrapped it in the robes of legal sanction. In its service, new mercenaries sought to regiment the people, their labor, and their property. As a result, the average man once more confronts the problem that faced the Minutemen. An old English judge once said, "Necessitous men are not free men. Liberty requires opportunity to make a living, a decent living, according to the standard of the time. A living, which gives man not only enough to live by, but something to live for. For too many of us, the political equality we once had won was meaningless in the face of economic inequality. A small group had concentrated into their own hands an almost complete control over other people's property, other people's money, and other people's labor, other people's lives. For too many of us, life was no longer free, liberty no longer real. Men could no longer follow the pursuit of happiness. Against economic tyranny such as this, the American citizen could appeal only to the organized power of government. And this is why, this is me talking, not FDR, Republicans hate government. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Yeah, we can trace that statement, it's a straight line to the traitors taking a dump in the Capitol. And also the fact that the rail workers don't even have 7 fucking days of sick leave, even though the railroad barons made, I read $20 billion in profit last year. $20 fucking billion. $20 billion, not million, billion. But why? All that costs money. And the math is that if workers had 7 days sick leave paid out of the pockets of these, or taken from the profits that they fucking made possible, it would be half a what was it, 500 million. Oh, wait, I have to look it up. I think it's $500 million. That's what it would cost. That means they would only make 19 billion and a half profit. So they can't fucking abide that. How can you do that? How could you go to lunch on that? How could you look your fellow economic royalists in the eye and laugh at the assholes who got to work for a living? That's not, what, a couple million. You can buy, how many senators for that? You can buy them a lot cheaper. So much better to buy the senators and then tell them to fucking tell those workers to go die. You're sick? Tough shit. You're coming to work anyway. In the richest country on earth. We're rich. Yeah, we are rich. But in all the wrong ways. We're poor. We're destitute in everything that matters. And it's honestly, I don't know if you're sick of it. I sure am. And they know that pretty much people are sick of it. But rather than let them think that government has an obligation to promote the general welfare over the welfare of the transnational corporate elite, the economic royalists, they turn people against the government, and then they I mean, of course, it's disgusting though, right? If it never does anything, they that's why they tell you to hate the government, because then you won't expect anything from it. And as they're rolling back us, rolling the whole thing back to the very system the founders overthrew, where the rich run everything, and the United States of serfs and lords, they give you something else to concentrate on. Here's some trans people that go fucking shoot, right? Here's it's somebody's grooming. Oh, it's drag queen story time, which has nothing to do with trans people, by the way, right? But this is how sick these fucking people are. They know. Half of them know better. Some of them are just assholes. Others are morons, of course. But I'm talking about like the perjury trader Greens, the Lauren band from the bowling alley Boberts. They probably are. I mean, they're just dumb. They just are ill-informed and malinformed. But some of them know better. Some of these fuckers have degrees from Ivy League colleges. So they know better. They've been educated, but they are manipulating the dummies. You know, how many dummies who are working for the railroads voted for Trump? And did it again? Or, in the second round. The second time he lost. You're right? For real. So, economic... and against... Let's read this again. Let's read a little bit more. Against economic tyranny such as this, the American citizen could appeal only to the organized power of government. So, again, that's why the thing that really annoys me is I hope I live to see the day of Reaganomics shoved in history's trash pile once and for all. And that, because Reaganomics, Clintonomics, it all goes hand in hand. Clinton was, followed it up. These new, what they called the new Democrats, they were just, they were Republican light. They were, they also hated government. The era of big government, it's over. Well, what the fuck does that mean? That means don't expect anything, Bobby. Don't expect anything from your taxes. Not like in other countries where you pay taxes and there's a social contract, right? Where you expect a certain level of civilization, a social safety net that allows, that paves the ground, makes the ground, lays the infrastructure of freedom. And that's why I wish the Democrats would listen to this show. I tell them all the time, that's how you have to message, we're building the infrastructure of freedom. But you can't serve two masters. So that's the problem. We have money in politics, which is the root of all evil. And many of these Democrats are sucking at that teat. They're sucking on the teat of the economic royalists as well. So, Joe Manchin, in particular, that's for damn sure. And give me a break. So now, it's very clever how the Republicans in the Senate who voted, there were, because, Joe Manchin voted against the sick leave and all, right? But then there were Republicans who voted for. Oh, let me see if I have the list here. I think it was, where is it? Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, a few of these fuckers. Let me see. That's why I need a real producer. You know it. Become a patron of Patreon. Whatever. Fuck, I'm so sick of saying that. I can go blue. Let me see. Republicans. Let's see. Railroad. What comes up? Anyway, I think it was like 7 or 8 Republicans voted for but it's all performative, you see, because they're not stupid. They count votes. They know whether something's going to pass. It's not like that edge of your seat with John McCain with the thumbs down on. That's not how it goes. But that's what they do. They whip the votes. They count the votes. And the actual vote is just a procedure. So they knew well in advance that this was not going to pass. Right? But now, so they could vote for it. So the Republicans can vote for it. They were safe. They knew it wouldn't overcome this fake fucking filibuster, this phony 60 vote threshold that is not a thing. That was it was only somebody's footnote in some fucking report for the Senate. Now it's become a tradition that doesn't. It's not in the Constitution. It's nothing that the founders put into the governing of the country. No, it's nothing but a hemorrhoid. So let's see. Oh, it was 6 Republicans who voted for the sick leave measure: Mike Braun of Indiana, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Josh Hawley, John Kennedy, and Marco Rubio. But they all knew it wasn't going to, they didn't have enough votes. It would not pass. And of course, every Democrat except Joe Manchin voted for it. So they knew it wasn't going to pass. And so they voted for it. So they can go to the dummies and say, you see, I voted with it. We just couldn't overcome that 60 vote threshold, right, guys? It's a scam. And the most offensive part of it for me is that these Republicans, all of them, these senators, the benefits they have, the sick leave they have, the fucking vacation, the health care, for life, guys. You could be a senator for 6 years and you get health care for the rest of your fucking useless life, for courtesy of us Americans. We the sheeple, we the dum-dums who, freedom. We're free. I don't want nothing from the government. I'm free. You fucking moron. As you ride our roads, drink out of our the tap. Everything around us. This is infrastructure. But we're certainly lacking some basic aspects of that infrastructure. All of the infrastructure that the Republicans, they never complain about it as being somehow against their freedom or insulting to their fucking freedom. I don't never see them decry somebody paving a road for these scumbags. Right? They think that it's like the fish swimming in the water doesn't know, it's swimming in water. It doesn't see the water all around it. It just says, I'm free. Until they take it out of water, right? But I don't see these Republicans digging their own wells. I don't see them making their own internet. That's the other thing that they always, the hypocrisy. The lack of self-awareness is so epidemic in general that decrying government, I don't need no government. I mean, on a medium that was developed through research and development by the government, the fucking internet, sitting on the internet machine saying freedom. You fucking moron. And half of these would be sitting in the dark, literally and figuratively, if not for government. because FDR, Tennessee Valley Authority said, in order to have a modern nation, we should act like a modern nation. We should act like a nation worthy of, of greatness. We're going to make sure that every community in the country is wired for electricity. There's newfangled electricity. Because some if you left it up to private industry, why would they want to run electricity to your hovel out in the middle of nowhere? They would have left them in the dark, not just let them sitting in the. I mean, they sit in the dark figuratively. They would have left them in the dark literally, and it's everything like that. I don't need it. It's free. I'm free. Then go to a desert island, go into the woods, and be free. Get out of here. Go live like the Unabomber, whatever the hell. All right? The Unabomber has more integrity than the Republican Party. Not that I'm a big fan, but it's true. At least he put his money where his mouth was. He, putting the bombings aside, he hated civilization and society and government and all that shit. And he picked his ass up and made a little cabin in the woods. Right? No, but then, it's like, well, they're kind of like him in a way. The way that they throw their bombs out into decent society. Their filth bombs. Their lie bombs. Oh, it's so disgraceful. It's so damn disgraceful. Yep. Haiku on the chat. Biden should have told those rail barons, pay up, you cheap bastards. Exactly. You have to. I mean, if you don't stand together, they were. I understand. They're afraid that the economy is going to go grinding to a halt, and everybody's going to suffer. That's the thing. But it's a perfect opportunity if Biden really wanted to use his bully pulpit to shame them, right? But this is the problem. He probably needs them. He needs the railroad barons. He needs their money, So he's afraid that they won't give to Democrats, and then they won't be able to run ads and shit like that. And it's disgusting to me when every time, I'm sure you've seen on the corporate media, like how much money was spent in this midterm. Money, let's see, the political money spent for advertising and whatnot. Let's see, it's always a vile number. I think it hit $1 billion in the last election. Political, let's see, money. How would you phrase that? Spent in the midterms? How much? Total, let's see, here we go. 2022. Open secrets. Total cost of 2022 state and federal elections projected to exceed, get ready, folks, $16.7 billion effing dollars. $1 billion. $1 billion fucking dollars. Can you believe that shit? That is disgusting. And it says it all. Can't we do better than that? Can't we? Isn't there something we could do with that money? Like universal health care, universal higher education, living wages, retirement security, leave no one behind kind of shit, e pluribus unum stuff. than spending all this money. But that's what it is. It's like, because the Democrats always, since Clinton, of course, they walk that fine line. They have to, they got it. Like Hillary Clinton said, which really annoyed the shit out of me when she was like, she was debating during one of the debates with Bernie, and they said, something about senator or do you want to be the president for Wall Street or Main Street or whatever? And I'm hoping I can be the president for both. Shut up. You can't. And the other thing that used to get on my nerves about when Barack Obama would talk about Wall Street and Main Street rising and falling together. That's what he would say. Wall Street and Main Street rises and falls together. That is not true. It used to make me want to scream. And I probably did scream a few times. Because Wall Street and Main Street do not rise and fall together, because Wall Street does great when Main Street is on the balls of its ass. Wall Street is doing fucking great. Wall Street always does great. Are you kidding me? Wall Street will suck the life out of Main Street. So don't give me this shit. But that was all to make the American people think like, oh yeah, Wall Street, I should give a shit. I should really support all the banking bailouts. I shouldn't, say anything, because Wall Street and Main Street, the banks don't come in and swoop down and bail out Main Street. That's for sure. They come in and they pick the bones of Main Street. They are the vultures who will kick you out of your house, kick you and your family into the cold fucking street. And then they don't give a shit. They'll turn their back, and they won't miss a wink of sleep over it. Wall Street and Main Street, give me a break. That's fucking Wall Street is doing great. And the sociopathy, the malignant narcissism of I don't give a shit, I got mine, sucks to be you. That's that's the new American, and it's not the American dream. It's just the American motto. We should change the e pluribus unum to I got mine, sucker. How do you say that in Latin? Let's see. Let's see if Siri can answer, I should say. Hey Siri.
Uh-huh.
How do you say I got mine, sucker, in Latin?
I can't translate into Latin yet.
Oh, you bitch.
I won't respond to that.
She's useless. Siri is so fucking useless. She's only good for the weather. That's when that's all, every other question I ask Siri becomes it devolves into an argument. And I lose the argument all the time. Let's see. Latin translator. Why can't you translate into Latin? Because you suck. Let's see. I got mine, sucker. Ego got, how do you pronounce this? Ego got menu potator. Ego got menu, meus, M-E-U-S, potator. Ego goat, I need a pronunciation. Can you hear that? Wait. That's you guys. Where is Safari?
Ego got meus potator.
That sounds kind of good. But I like potatoes.
Ego got meus potator.
I just don't know if it's going out over the air. Because I can't see the meter. Keeps blocking it.
Ego got meus potator.
I got mine, sucker. That's the new American motto. I think we should propose it. It's not only accurate, it's honest. At least, that's the first step. Is admitting, right? Is admitting there's a problem. And it's vile. We got a lot of problems here. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. Let me see. Where's the other thing I was going to read here? Here we go. You want to puke? I don't mean to make you puke, but because we don't have sick leave. Oh, and I didn't read the end of that FDR quote. But I will in a second. You want to see countries with paid sick leave? I'll show you. Let's see. Let me see. Countries with paid sick leave. Not the U.S. is the only developed country that doesn't offer any guaranteed sick leave. So far, this only existed during the COVID-19 pandemic that led to the 2020 quarantines. California, New York, and other states have permanent paid sick leave plans. That's only because that's the states, I mean, I live in New York, and it's not the companies are forced to give sick leave, but they don't do it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're doing it because it's the law, and nobody's going bankrupt over it. But yeah, so Sweden, Iceland, Norway, Denmark, Germany, Slovenia, Lithuania, Hungary. Okay, countries. That's just these countries that are highlighted. They're just that's not all of them. They're just highlighting these particular countries. Sweden companies provide sick pay instead of the usual wage for the first 2 weeks an employee is ill. 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, workers can apply for illness benefits. Sweden's employees can receive between 25% and 100% of their salary for a maximum, get ready, a year. So if you have a serious illness that you need to take time off and battle, not like here in the United States. I mean, how many people I know people that have to go to work while getting chemo treatments. I mean, I can name more than one off the top of my head. You just hope it's not you. They have to drag their ass, because if you don't go to work either, you fucking don't get your health care. You don't get your insurance. It's such a vile, disgusting system. Icelandic employees can receive a minimum of 2 days of sick leave for every month they work. They may receive 100% of their salary for time off because of an illness, some of which may come from an employer or the Social Insurance Administration. For this reason, the compensation experts rank Iceland as the location with the top paid sick leave in the world. Norway offers sick benefits for up to a year. Workers that still cannot work after this time might receive additional assistance. Employers will cover the first 16 days. The European Commission's Employment, Social Affairs and Inclusion just determines the amount of paid sick leave that employees based on their salary from the previous 3 months. They might receive up to 100% of their pay for at least 31 days. Oh, well, that's just fucking tyranny, really. I don't know how they live with being so not free from fear of getting sick. I mean, how do you live? How do you, it's like Carrie Lake. If we didn't have the Second Amendment, if we weren't allowed to go to Walmart with an assault weapon, we wouldn't be free. We'd be just like Australia, which, God, I wish we were. Germany follows a similar rules as other countries connected to the EU. Workers may receive sick pay during the time when a medical expert has confirmed their abilities to work. This could occur for about 78 weeks. 78 weeks. And how many weeks are there in a year? 52, right? A year and a half. Over a 3-year period per sickness. Per sickness. An employee might receive additional paid sick leave under certain conditions, including new illnesses. Slovenia, employees may receive compensation between 80% and 100% of their salary. This is fucking Slovenia. Isn't that where trophy wife number 3 came from? Depending on whether the illness is work-related or not, Slovenia follows the same guidelines concerning this as several other European Union countries. Employers usually pay the first month. Lithuania. Employees in this country will receive payments for at least at least 62% of their salaries. Employers will pay at least the first 2 days. Then the Sodra funds activate, paying 62% of earnings based on what the workers earned in the previous 3 months. Organ or tissue problems related to donations might make a person eligible for up to 77% of their salary. Hungary. Hungary. Even this fascist prick show. Employers usually pay the first 15 days at 70% of a worker's income. Then the remaining days are paid at 50% or 60% of their salary for up to 1 year. But here's a list of all the countries with paid sick leave. Now, I'll just scroll through. Let me get my head out of the way here. Look at this. Okay, here we go. Keeps going. Uzbekistan. Did I say that right? No. Uzbekistan, Guatemala, Ecuador, Chad, Somalia, Netherlands, Senegal, Cambodia, Zimbabwe, Guinea, Rwanda, Benin, Burundi, Tunisia, Bolivia, Belgium, Haiti, Jordan, Dominican Republic, Cuba, South Sudan, Sweden, Czech Republic, Honduras, right? Greece, Azerbaijan, Portugal, Papua New Guinea, Hungary, Tajikistan, Belarus, the UAE, Israel, Austria, Togo, Switzerland, Sierra Leone, Laos, Hong Kong, Serbia, Nicaragua. I mean, I'm just reading. There's many, many, many more if you're only listening on the audio. New Zealand, Palestine, Liberia, Lebanon, Finland, Costa Rica, Ireland, Mauritania, yes, Oman, Panama, Kuwait, Croatia, Georgia, Uruguay, Mongolia, Moldova, Puerto Rico, Bosnia, Albania, Jamaica, Armenia, Lithuania, Gambia, Qatar, Botswana, Lesotho, Slovenia, Guinea, North Macedonia, Latvia, Trinidad, Bahrain, Timor, Estonia. I mean, it's like all these little countries. But we're the richest country. Belize, Bahamas, Brunei, Iceland, Martinique, French Polynesia, French Guiana, New Caledonia, Samoa, Curacao, I can't pronounce that, Grenada, Jersey, Tonga, Aruba, the United States Virgin Islands. Look at that, see? Other countries that are our one of our colonies, whatever you call it. Our protectorate. St. Kitts, Turks, American Samoa, Marshall Islands, Monaco, Gibraltar, Palau, Cook Islands, Vatican City. Even the fucking Vatican City. The Vatican with the population of 510. Look at this shit. Look at this, everybody. How much longer? That's what I have to ask. How much longer are we going to take it? How much longer? I've been asking that question since zygote. When I was a zygote, I was like, how much longer are we going to take this shit, ma? Unreal. Well, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of, I hate this. I hate seeing the bullshit, seeing right through the scams. I hate being a member of a targeted minority group. And also, I hate watching other people be targeted. And knowing the scam and watching these privileged princes who are parasites. At least in the first Gilded Age, the majority, the workers, who overthrew the, during, that's what happened with brought on the progressive era because they weren't going to take it anymore. This is why we have unions. We have, what's left of them. We have living 8-hour work days. We don't really have living wages, but the weekends, just the basic things that are taken for granted, that workers take for granted. Everything was fought for. If we were working in the first Gilded Age, there were no days off at all. You had no day. You would work 16 hours a day. The whole 8 hours on, 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for recreation. That was the rallying cry of the labor movement. Child labor, all of this stuff. This is a modern invention of workers who stuck together and won. But that's why they divide us. That's why. And who did they appeal to? It was the government, ultimately, that changed the game. It wasn't because the billionaires or the big-moneyed interests or the robber barons were feeling generous. And they felt like trickling down some 8-hour work days. Or didn't want to hire children anymore. And they'd still do that. They would do that today. We know that. Every now and then, and I talk about it sometimes because it never ceases to amaze me, and how Republicans, they're so transparent. How every now and then there will be a Republican who proposes bringing back child labor. They do it all the time. They couch it in terms like trainees, training wages, or they propose it like, kids today, they need to learn responsibility. I even had a friend of mine, I think I told you, who is sadly a victim of right-wing radio, and it drives me fucking crazy. But he's also gay, which I can't. Yeah, and he listens to. Who did he listen to? Mark Levin. It was like trying to. I don't know. Very, very sad. And So sad, like Trump would say. But I remember I was reading something. I don't remember how it went along, but he was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. He said something about child labor, like, because kids today or some bullshit. I was like, this is fucking child labor. They want that. So they want to hire children too. It's not about, teaching them to have responsibilities, because they're just so they're too soft. They're playing video games. Kids today, they need to learn responsibilities. It's because they want to pay. They want you to compete with children for jobs. They want to pay a kid a training wage. They don't have to pay you a living wage to pay an adult a living wage. They want to pay a kid a training wage. So then that will depress all wages, because you'll be competing with children for fucking jobs. Are you kidding me? How stupid. I can't take it, guys. This is, you know what it is? It is because people aren't educated. They really are. And that's by design, too. This is why Republicans hate public education. That's another thing that they attack. They hate education. They attack teachers. They attack teachers' unions constantly. From all fronts, they attack teachers. Yeah, like teachers who have to go to school and learn and get to a point where they can be responsible to teach children, act facts and shit. That's why they want to have assholes like the Duggars, 19 kids and counting, Duggar morons, homeschooling. Because then they'll teach, they don't have to go to school and learn things. They could just teach them the crap, like the earth is 6,000 years old. Now, how long do you remain a so-called great country at that point? But it makes no difference to the big moneyed interests, because they don't need you to be educated. They need you to work, shut your mouth, and and go to church on Sunday. Go, then pray, because you'll get your rewards in heaven. You don't need sick leave. If God wanted you to be rich, he would have made you rich. You would have been born into the big moneyed houses. And that's it. That's what they think is great. And that's what they want. They want a same old system. The founders fought a revolution to escape. They want the rich, the big moneyed interests to own everything at the top, and everybody else out in the fields, scraping, trying to keep their head above water, going praying to Jesus. Every now and then somebody will hit the lottery, or there'll be somebody will be plucked out of that hell. And that'll be the one they'll hold up as a inspiration. Oh, maybe it'll be me. And then, the scam keeps on rolling. The same old. And they're while they drag us back to the system, the founders fought a revolution to escape. And, okay, before I forget, it's all coming full circle here. You understand that, because as we know, this week Trump had Thanksgiving, right? He had dinner with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West, and everyone in the corporate media they decried this meeting, and of course, as they should. We played Nick Fuentes clips on the show, and he's a vile scumbag, vile Nazi. Vile Nazi is repetition, really, but and the corporate media and the Republicans, who days later had to feign outrage about it, the corporate media pointed out that Nick Fuentes is an avowed anti-Semite, and that is true. And that's all they labeled him, this anti-Semite Nick Fuentes, but that is just one of his many other filthy traits, his filthy adjectives, his pronouns, right? His descriptors are far more vile. He's not just an anti-Semite. What the corporate media missed completely and never mentioned the fact that he hates democracy on top of it. That one of his rallying cries is to destroy democracy. To have Trump, install Trump as a president and end elections. So that's the guy that the Republican standard bearer, the last Republican president who is running again for the presidency, who wants to be the nominee of the other big political party in the country, had dinner with a guy who hates America under the banner of eagles and stars and red, white, and blue, talks about destroying democracy openly, just like I've said forever and ever. So that's, he's not just an anti-Semite. He's a filthy Nazi who hates democracy. So I don't understand why the corporate media will not point that out. That it's not just that Trump is meeting with anti-Semites and Nazis. I mean, you could say that about every Republican rally. Meeting with anti-Semites. Are you kidding me? They have shirts that are pro-Auschwitz shirts. Like, we have pictures. They sell merch. They go after the media. Wink, wink. Just like Kanye West goes after them as being run by this cabal of Jews. This ancient, I guess it's ancient, of Jewish people controlling everything, right? But this is the same rallying cry of the Nazis forever and ever. And that's at every Trumpanzee Nuremberg rally. The anti-Semitism has always been there. So, and so has the anti-Americanism, the anti-democracy. And I don't know why the corporate media will not point it out. They refuse to say it. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Did anybody else notice this? I haven't seen any corporate media mouthpiece mention it, much less liberal pundit. They never said anything. They're saying, avowed anti-Semite, avowed anti-Semite. But that is just one of his many, many, many vile opinions. I don't know. Yes, I see you, Mark, on the chat. Nice to see you. Our millennial correspondent. I was actually thinking about you today, Mark, as I think of you every day. And I'm glad you're back, my friend. We'll talk later about your absence. But I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're doing okay, and we will talk. Mark is we're a bunch of old people here, so we got Mark to balance the scales. He's wise beyond his years, though. He's our millennial correspondent. I'm sure there are others, right? There has to be. We're young at heart here. I'm not old. I just say I am. I'm not old. I mean, whatever. What's the alternative? That's the other thing. I don't feel old. I know I am older than I've been because I keep waking up. in the morning, and that's just one day at a time. And then, I don't know, what's the alternative, right? So we have to fight. There's too much fighting to do. Fighting legally and peacefully. Yes, I see. Okay, yeah, I saw that a text come in. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I will as soon as we get off the air, Mark. All right. Well, so anyway, as far as Nick Fuentes, that he is the Republican Party. That's the problem. And as Biden during the midterm made a point of making speeches highlighting the dangers of democracy. It's the MAGA Republicans. That's them. So I don't understand. That's why I'm glad you guys support the show and watch the show and share the show with your friends and whatnot, because the corporate media is always way, way behind us. That's for sure. They'll catch up. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll catch up eventually, because we've been talking about fascism, and the threat to democracy for as long as I can remember. And finally, they started talking about it. That's how I knew it was. Maybe some. I don't know. I knew that it was pretty serious if the corporate media pointed it out. So let me just, because we were talking about FDR and reading his 1936 renomination speech. So let me just finish up with the whole speech is great, but I'll start with an old English judge once said, necessitous men are not free men. Liberty requires opportunity to make a living decent according to the standard of the time, a living which gives men not only enough to live by, but something to live for. Wait, I read this. That's too far back, but let's go. Today we stand committed to the proposition that freedom is no half and half affair. If the average citizen is guaranteed equal opportunity in the polling place, he must have equal opportunity in the marketplace. These economic royalists complain that we seek to overthrow the institutions of America. What they really complain of is that we seek to take away their power. Our allegiance to American institutions requires the overthrow of this kind of power. That's it in a nutshell, guys. That's what we're seeing right now. These economic royalists, and that's the rallying cry of the Republican. Oh, they're trying to overthrow America. Look at my pocket constitution I'm pointing to. Like, whoopee-doo, whoopee-doopie. As if they ever read it. As if they understand. It's like, you could pull out any quote. Show me some more fake quotes. Oh, I was hit with some other fake quotes recently. Somebody sent some fake quotes over Twitter. It's like, do you people, what is it with the fake fucking quotes, Republicans? It doesn't take much. That's what it is. This is what they, the evil bastards who manipulate these poor, low information, low IQ, low effort thinking Republican base, who are, and it goes hand in hand in being a racist, being a homophobe, a transphobe, an ugly coward, ugly on the inside, large amygdala coward who can't go to Walmart without an assault weapon. They manipulate these people, and they, while they run away with the bank, while they run away with the country, with democracy. They hate democracy. And as FDR says, in vain, they seek to hide behind the flag and the Constitution. In their blindness, they forget what the flag and Constitution stand for. Exactly. Now, as always, they stand for democracy, not tyranny, for freedom, not subjection, and against a dictatorship by mob rule and the overprivileged alike. That sounds goddamn radical. Mob rule. That's what we got. By the overprivileged. Government, this is a very famous quote too. Governments can err. Presidents do make mistakes, but the immortal Dante tells us that divine justice weighs the sins of the cold-blooded and the sins of the warm-hearted in different scales. Better the occasional faults of a government that lives in a spirit of charity than the constant omissions of a government frozen in the ice of its own indifference. Isn't that the e pluribus unum? Right? We're in this together. Leave nobody behind. That's the Republicans. Frozen in the ice of its own indifference. The people who can see child upon child being murdered in schools and look themselves in the mirror after they come back from another town hall where grieving parents beg these fuckers to do something, and they go back at them with the same old canards about fake solutions that do nothing, that they know do nothing. Hoping and praying, hopefully this will all pass quickly. Can I go to Cancun? Unreal. But very real. Better the occasional faults. And that's Republicans. What are the occasional faults? Try something, It's like the student loan forgiveness. Oh, it's unconstitutional. Fuck you. You're unconstitutional. It's not unconstitutional when they suck on the government teat, but you give somebody, you give a student, you ease the pain a little of their indentured servitude to these fucking rapacious banksters. And that's unconstitutional. What about me? I had to pay off all my loans. So now you have to do it too. I didn't go. I didn't take a gender studies degree. I did everything correctly. Not that a gender studies degree isn't correctly, but they believe that this is how stupid they are. You understand, they want an ignorant serfs and lords society. They're blind. They don't realize that the wool is being pulled over their eyes. That's why they hate elites. I mean, it's just so fucking fascist. It's so, and it is so anti-American. They are so confused by America. I say that all the time. They not only hate America, they're confused by America. That's why they wave the flag and wear a lot of eagles and shit on their shirts, because that's all they can do. That's what they can comprehend. I like eagles. I'm strong. Look at me. They think that strength is being an asshole. That's strength. Never saying sorry. That makes you strong. That makes you manly. When they have it exactly backwards. They do. They have these caricatures of humans in their mind. Well, which brings us to, I guess, the other things like Like this, I wanted to play this Madison Cawthorn video. This is his last. He takes his, he never did anything for anybody. He's not a representative. He's a he wants a podcast or something. He was never representing people. In fact, that's what he said. His budget was spent on comms, communications, because that's all you need. You understand what I'm saying? I say it all the time. It is media. That's ground zero of the reason this country is so divided. But the Republicans know that. They don't even have to work for their constituents. They don't have to do a goddamn thing. As long as they have comms, as long as they can tell a story to the dummies. And they have an R after their name because they spend all their time vilifying Democrats while the Democrats are doing things. They're doing, at least trying to do some things, and they do. That's the thing. That's why I vote Democratic. I'm not saying they're perfect. The whole system sucks. It needs, I believe, money out of politics. That should be the first thing. And then everything else. You know what? Once we get money out of politics, you see how fast we'll get paid sick leave and health care and retirement security and shit like that. But it won't happen while we have this media, this corporate media run by, big moneyed interests, and some of it is dedicated to fascism, to the outright overthrowing of the country, of the democracy. But yeah, so Madison Cawthorn, did you hear anything on corporate media that Madison Cawthorn abandoned his post? No. They're too busy, I guess, doing a poll or something about, everybody says Biden sucks, so let's do a poll. Let's poll the ignorant about their opinions and repeat it on loop until everybody as ignorant as they are hops on board and says, yeah, me too. Well, here's Madison Cawthorn giving I'm sure you probably heard this. This was a couple of days ago. His last speech to Congress was about a very pertinent issue in the country. Being a man, or metrosexuals are such a danger to this nation. They're destroying the country.
Young men are taught that weakness is strength, that delicacy is desirable, and that being a soft metrosexual is more valuable than training the mind, body, and soul. Social media has weakened us, siphoning our men of their will to fight, to rise in a noble manner, square their jaws, and charge once more into the breach of life to defend what they love.
Oh my God.
So on this precipice of disaster, I ask the young men of this nation a question. Will you sit behind a screen while the storied tales of your forefathers become myth? Or will you stand resolute against the dying light of America's golden age? Will you reclaim your masculinity? Will you become a man to be feared, to be respected, to be looked up to? Or will you let this nation's next generation be its final generation?
I have another question. What are you doing later? Will you want to come over? I mean, this is a guy you talk about. So many feelings I had when I first saw that. First of all, I just disgusting. It makes me want to puke, these people. But the other thing is, okay, for example, Republicans always hate Hollywood, right? Hollywood liberals, but they are so influenced by the myths that come out of Hollywood, right? Will you rise and square your jaw and where the like the fake cowboy John Wayne? They have this fantasy in their minds about what men and women should be, but it all comes from the constructed reality created by Hollywood. It comes right out of Leave It to Beaver. They really do. Leave It to Beaver, a perfect world, you know, with the antics, very wholesome antics, wrapped up in a half hour, and nobody got hurt. And of course, there were no black people. There were no gay people. There was just dad. Of course, the other thing they like the myth, but Beaver's dad went to work in a society where there was a 91% top marginal tax rate and a 35% unionized workforce, and you know, so. They don't like that. They just like the strict social and racial hierarchies. And where men are men and women know their place and everybody knows their place, with the men squaring their jaws and rising and doing what? Coming from these, I mean, this is the thing. They are so sick. Well, I'm sure you've seen Madison Cawthorn's, the videos of him sexually assaulting his cousin. Let's see. Cawthorn, sex party. Him dressed in women's lingerie. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, I mean, they're very sick. These people, how many times I have to say, get help. See, it takes courage. And that's the other thing. They keep talking about, they have this very twisted and cartoonish view of men and women and what reality is. It is ripped right from Hollywood. You know, like it's and it reminds me too. Now that I'm just thinking about it, for example, when Ted Cruz tweeted out, you know, because they always bash America, they hate America, but Ted Cruz tweeted out that video, that propaganda video of the Russian military. Let me see. He insulted the woke and emasculated American army, supposedly, right? Hold on. Because the American military had a recruitment ad for, that were trying to attract the diverse, from the population of diverse America. And also, the emotional intelligence of that ad is way over the heads of Republicans. They want to see the Avengers. They want to see shit blow up. They don't, because they are babies. They are cartoons. They like cartoons. Oh, look, I think Ted Cruz deleted it. I went to try to find it, and it says it's deleted. I was gonna play it. Let's see. Ted, if I had ever captured it. Ted Cruz, military or woke? Yes, he said that we were woke. But then, as we saw, when the Russians attacked Ukraine, then we get the reality of the Russian soldier. They're not supermen. They're just people. They're just boys, some of them. Just like, American boys. And I remember there was a video of the Ukrainians they captured one of the Russian soldier, and he's crying. And they make him call his mother. And he's on the phone with his mother, crying. That's the reality, right? It's not what Ted Cruz thinks is, some fucking propaganda video where a bunch of muscle men fall from the sky and do push-ups and these people are so easily manipulated, and that's what the Republicans understand. That so do the evil geniuses like Roger Ailes and Rupert Murdoch. They understand that they needed to own media and the message, and this is why, like we're talking about the railroad workers, many of them, I don't know how many, but despite being in a union, despite working for a living, despite all of the fact that the Republicans have never done a thing for the working class of this country, and in fact quite the opposite, that they are an antagonist to a decent middle class life or even a working class life. They turn the middle class into the working poor. We live in a country where the middle class is now below 50% of the population. That happened when Trump was in office. I never hear anybody, much less Democrats, talking about that, which they should. But it's they are so taken by bullshit constantly. The word, it doesn't matter the reality. It's like, and that's why they will vote for the Republicans, because in the media and in this cult that they're all in, because it is a cult, they have been the right wing media, the propaganda machine has drummed into their heads again and again. Democrats, they're not just they're not just a different political party. They are they're pedophiles. They're evil. They're drinking your adrenochrome and shit. And that's why, these assholes in Georgia, it doesn't matter. They'll vote for Herschel Walker because he has an R after his name, even though he shouldn't be anywhere near the halls of power. So Lauren Boebert shouldn't be anywhere near the halls of power. Perjury Trader Green, same thing. These people are ignorant, embarrassing, disgraceful, treasonous, traitors. But they have R's behind their name, so, tick, 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 tick. I'll vote for my own demise as long as you save me from what? A decent middle-class life? Sick leave? Retirement security? Health care? I'm free. Pew, 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 pew. Because I believe this myth that I got a gun and I'm going to overthrow the military. I'm going to overthrow the government if it gets too tyrannical. These idiots, they think they're going to overthrow the government. They think, but that's what Republicans want them to think. They want them to think stupid things like that. Like, for example, the Second Amendment is there so you can overthrow the government if you don't like it. Yeah, because an election takes too much time. So much easier just to assassinate the government. That's what the founders did, right? These students of the liberal age of enlightenment, they overthrew an intergenerational aristocracy and they installed a government. They said, you don't like that government? Just assassinate us all. Yeah, okay, because that works. Well, who's gonna build your roads, fucker? Who's going to run the pipes into your shithole so you don't drink water filled with parasites and give yourself explosive diarrhea? Who's going to do that? Who's going to run the electricity to your hovel? Oh, freedom! I can't. And I mean, and the fact that the Republicans, that's how desperate they are. That they have to call Democrats everything but their name. You know, it's the other thing. Oh, for example, I saw, what the fuck? What's his name? Mike Pence. He was on fascist, Fox News. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Let's see.
Ask you a question about your faith, because we share the same faith. But
Sure you
how
do,
you
honey.
know that is God calling you? Because everywhere you go, people love you. Even Democrats love you because you're just a nice, wholesome,
Really?
good person who does the right thing. And you're honest. You're honest.
He does the right thing. Even Democrats love you, Mike Pence. Bullshit. But here's a guy another one, who can't even call the Democratic Party by its name. That's another thing. These people, they can't even call you by your name. They say Democrat Party. Here's another one. Oh, you're a good man. Even Democrats like you. But he's a filthy fascist too, throwing up a gang sign. He's another one, Democrat Party. That says it all. You can't even call another political party their name. That's why I call them Republicans, but whatever. Because, whatever. They're going to call me Democrat Party. I'll call them Republicans. But the Democrats don't do that. Right? You watch the corporate media, they don't even blink when Mike Pence says the Democrat Party. They just roll right through as if that's normal. Yeah, and I saw Mike Pence give an interview on wherever, and the person interviewing him didn't even blink. Mike Pence Democrat Party, politicians, blah, 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 Democrat Party. It's not the fucking Democrat. And then the interviewer said, well, when the Democratic Party, but he said it correctly. Well, what's wrong with you? Why don't you stop this fake, this whatever this is, and this Mike Pence character, this caricature who thinks he's going to be president with their phony emotion. I mean, they were all a bunch of phonies. They put it on, oh, yes, look, I square my jaw and look into the distance very pensively, and I love Jesus, don't you know, Democrat Party. Would Jesus tell you to call people by their fucking names? But that betrays their immaturity and inability to function in a democracy. I don't know why this is looking so pink, too, this camera. Oh, whatever. It's a lost cause. But you know who isn't a lost cause? Boom. Tara Jr. is here. Hello. What's up, kid? Look into the camera. Say hello to your fans. All right. Oh, my God. Yes, honey. Look at him. I have to show you this. Come here. Yes. Humans and cats living together, sharing and caring. Let's see. Come on, Junior. Look right here. He's looking at me. All right. We'll stay like that for now. It's a junior cam, yes. Yes, honey. I hear you. All right, you gotta settle. Settle down. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. What are we gonna do, everybody? Well, in the meantime, become a patron at patreon.com/terrordevil. Will somebody become a patron? And remember to check out APS Radio News. I'm just doing some plugs while it's on my mind. Give the show a good review on iTunes. Let's talk about I think what else do I have on the list? Because we're having a show tomorrow too, so we got a lot to talk about. Well, oh yeah, I mentioned. Well, on the list I had that that Aileen Cannon, that corrupt judge Aileen Cannon was shot down for her interference with the Mara Moron document being stolen, the stolen documents from Mara Moron. And the other judges, I guess, who aren't completely corrupt, even though I think they were described as conservative judges, gave her a case of red ass in their opinion, but also basically eviscerated her for injecting herself, for sticking her big filthy Republican nose where it didn't belong in this case. So good news for America is, well, isn't that funny how it goes? When Trump or Republicans get bad news, that means it's good news for us, for America, for patriotism. Yes, on Thursday, the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Aileen Cannon had no jurisdiction. Now, and Aileen Cannon has no business being a judge, as we know. She was rated unqualified, of course, on one of the many unqualified judges that the Republicans shove on the bench. It's like I was saying the other day with, as far as, like, for example, Herschel Walker. We will, if Republicans get their way, if they continue, we will get to a point where we won't be running people. Why? Why run people? Because it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter the quality of the candidate, if it doesn't matter if they are fit for office, why run a person at all? Just say, I vote for an R. Tick, tick. I vote for a D. Tick, tick. So we have how many R's against how many D's, and that's it. Who cares? You know, if they're just, you know, this empty nothing, don't insult us. Just own it and say, just run an R, run a letter R. That's where they would rather have it. That's how much they hate America. You understand? They want America to be in the hands of morons and people who are unfit, that have no business. I mean, the brain dead, the ignorant, the easily led, the traitors, the compromised, the tax cheaters, the draft dodgers, the dictator envying con men, the worst. They're all the worst. Like the tweet that the Republicans put out, Kanye, Elon, Trump. They just deleted it today because Kanye West went on Alex Jones' show and said what all Republicans think. He said, I like Hitler. I like Nazis. That's what they all think. In every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. And no surprise, like when Kanye West and Nick Fuentes went to Maramoron and had dinner with the tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man with the fake university and the vitamin scam, and Republicans said they put out statements after the fact, a few days later, when they stuck their fingers in the air and they were like, well, where is this going here? Now I guess I'll have to say something. And they said things like, there's no place in the Republican Party for anti-Semitism. Really? No place. No, honey, it's all over the place. There's no place for bigotry, that's funny. Tell that to the bigots, because they're all over your party. They're attracted to your party. That's why you get endorsed by the KKK, by the neo-Nazis, the American Nazi Party. The very fine people in the American Nazi Party. Look at him sniffing the camera. Yawning into the camera. You're a cute cat. Do you know that, cat? Do you know you're a cat? All right. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. Yeah, here's Mitch McConnell.
First, let me just say that there is no room in the Republican Party for anti-Semitism.
No room?
Or white supremacy.
Right there. There's plenty of room.
And
all
anyone
in.
meeting with people advocating that point of view, in my judgment, are highly unlikely to ever be elected president of the United States.
There's no room. Come on in. The water's fine. Please. There's no room. There's no room for normal people in the Republican Party. Here's Perjury Trader Green.
Do you know what it's like to be canceled?
He's talking about Nick Fuentes at Nick Fuentes' event.
Do you know what it's like to be canceled? And that's why I'm here to talk to you tonight. I don't believe anyone should be canceled.
Even Nick Fuentes, canceled. No one should be canceled. You know what grates on me? The way she talks when she says important. There's a very important. I think she has to say it in every sentence because it's constantly grating on me. It's very important.
I don't believe in separating people and identities. I don't believe in separating people in classes. But that's what the Democrats believe in because that's what Marxism is.
Oh,
that's what communism is.
Is that it? Really? That's Marxism, communism? You're so well read, lady. Here's the same dumb alleged. Let's see. Marjorie. I don't know if you saw her tweet. This is a representative, a United States representative. Okay, she gets paid by we the people to represent Georgia. Oh, you should be so proud, Georgia. The people of, I think she's 15th district or something. I don't remember. Let's see. Get ready. So many people still wearing masks. Let me show you. I just want to ask you if a pair of underwear, really thick ones, high quality cotton, can't protect you from a fart, then how will a mask protect you from COVID? With question mark, question mark. Oh my God. She thinks she's clever. This is a representative of the United States. How do you feel now, guys? Are you proud? You proud that red, white, and blue? Well, I don't know if I have to explain it. She's a moron. And the COVID, it's different types of molecules. So she's saying if you fart through your underwear and somebody can smell it, what's the difference? If you can't get COVID wearing a mask or it's because they're different, you dumb bitch. And molecules, they have different sizes, and COVID doesn't pass through a mask. But yes, I don't know. There are other people explaining this, but this is a thing on the right. Somebody came up with it and they all ran with it because they're morons. Unbelievable. Incredible. And that's why, like this article says, it's all right. Whatever. Let them. COVID death rates are higher among Republicans than Democrats. Mounting evidence shows. Oh, well. Future, the Herman Cain Award recipient. And the thing is, let's see, a molecule of methane is infinitesimally smaller than coronavirus. Methane is a single carbon atom with 4 hydrogen atoms, and it is tiny. Someone replied. Jesus Christ. Protect you from a fart. Here's another picture of Perjury Trader Green. Look at her. Ain't she classy? Could you imagine? She's grabbing Trump's crotch. A cardboard cutout of Trump. She's grabbing his crotch. Now, there's your family values, guys. There's your Republican family values. And the old double standard. It's okay if a Republican does it. Because if any Democrat ever acted like that, there was a cardboard cutout of Barack Obama or something, and one of the female representatives were grabbing the cardboard cutout's crotch. What do you think the Republicans would say? Oh, they'd be so faux-raged. Of course, they'd be talking about how disgraceful. It's disgraceful. It is insults the dignity of the office they hold. But that's Republicans. They insult the dignity of air. Okay? They insult the dignity of human DNA. And the office they hold. Who sends these people to represent them? You know, when you're in a group and you're like, yeah, send Charlie up there. You want to send your best. Oh, Charlie, can you represent us at this so and so? You're not going to send some clown, because you want to make the best impression, right? That's what you would think. You don't want to send some idiot, some moron, some traitor who on the third day in office begs for a pardon. Or Lauren banned from the bowling alley Boebert, who can't pass the GED. She's a high school dropout, a serial petty arrest asshole, and then can't even get along with her neighbors. That's the other thing. She lives in a neighborhood she's at war with. That says the same thing with Sarah Palin, though, too. They can't They're just horrible people. That's the problem. But they're all horrible. Even Mike Pence is horrible. They're all horrible. So don't tell me, oh, even Democrats like you, but you can't say the name of the party. You can't say Democratic Party, because that might give the impression to the cult that you're not in the cult with them. You know, you need to throw those gang signs up. You need to speak their language, the language of fascism, by dehumanizing your opponent. No, don't. You don't need any ideas. You don't have to come out with policies, ideas. You don't even have to run constituent services. You just have to run comms. That's it. You don't have to even have people answering the phones in your offices. You just have to have comms, and then you'll speak at the Republican convention like Madison Cawthorn did, insulting, putting on a show, saying, I'll stand up for the flag. And he made a big show about standing up out of his wheelchair. You won't, but you won't stand up for your constituents. You won't even show up to your office and answer the fucking phone because you're too busy auditioning for something on Fox News or something on OAN or dinner at Mara Moron with whatever the Nazi flavor of the month is. So don't give me. And then they're saying that Trump, as far as dining with Nazis, they're all Nazis. That's all he dines with. When he dines with Lindsey Graham, he's dining with a Nazi. When he dines with Moscow Mitch or whoever else, all of them. When he dines with Marco Rubio or Matt Gaetz, he's dining with a Nazi. You kidding? I'm not kidding. Of course. That's who they are. If you think that, the only thing that is not bringing out the absolute worst in them is environment and opportunity. If this were 1939 Germany, where do you think they would be? You think they would be the ones in the resistance to the Nazis? Would they be in the White Rose Society? Would Madison Cawthorn be in the White Rose Society with the other young people who put their lives on the line to fight the Nazis, to fight Nazi propaganda, many of whom died, like Sophie Scholl, who was 21? How old was she? 21? Would you think that would be Madison Cawthorn? Or would he be the one, ratting out his neighbors? Well, that's right here in the United States of Serfs and Lords. Republicans ban books. They have tip lines where you can call in teachers who are maybe too woke, or your neighbors, or families who have trans kids. They're trying to help. And these filthy fascists stick their big, fascist, ignorant noses into your family's business. Women, right? Are they forced to have forced pregnancies now here in the United States of Serfs and Lords, but no forced sick leave, though, right? You want to carry a child that you can't afford, when we know that the number one reason women have choose to terminate a pregnancy is economics. So instead of making a society that fosters, okay, if I got accidentally or whatever, but that's okay. I have living wages, health care, retirement security, education, sick leave. I could take a day off to be pregnant. Oh, maternity leave, paternity leave. That's a whole other can of worms that the United States doesn't have, right? Like every other effing country. Every other country but us. Because we're dumb. Because we got comms here, though. We got a lot of podcasts where Republicans say things like woke. We're too woke. Where they point fingers at trans kids and families and say everybody's being groomed by drag queens. Sexualized. Ooh, they're sexualizing you. Because that's the big thing with them. Like in every other repressive society, if they grab you by your privates, they got you. They got you. And it's the pee-pee patrol, of course. They want to know what's your pee-pee doing, and then they really got you. And fear. And this is the thing. Get help. Oh, everything's about mental health, but the Republicans never get help. They never do anything for mental health, physical health, economic health, spiritual health. Everything is hate thy neighbor. Oh, God. There's not a lick, there's not a hair's hair width between Nick Fuentes and the rest of the Republican Party. Here's a little montage that The Daily Show put together, proving that point.
You know, they say about America, they say diversity is our strength.
How precisely is diversity our strength?
Black people are violent. You know,
they have chaos and violence in their communities.
Send the military into these black neighborhoods, make the streets safe. They'll complain about it. It doesn't matter.
We should send in the troops if necessary to restore order.
Enough with the Jim Crow stuff. Who cares? Oh, to drink out of a different water fountain. Big deal.
Oh, the legacy of Jim Crow. That was 67 years ago. It is ancient history now.
Incredible. That's just a tip of the iceberg. Oh, and then so now recently we know that the official Republican campaign committee website had a tweet. Kanye, Elon, Trump. Meaning, that's who they are. That's who they are. Well, yeah, that's who they are. Very sick people. Sick, kiss up, kick down, this fetishizing of these sociopaths is sickening. And it proves yet again that they completely forget they hate America. They do. They hate America, and they are confused by America. That's your heroes? Kanye, Elon, Trump. Privileged princes of a new economic dynasty, thirsting for power, reaching out to control government itself. That's who they are. Oh, yeah. Just like FDR said. Well, Kanye went on another very sick person's show today. This is what it took for the official Republican campaign committee website or Twitter account to delete this tweet that they kept up there for months, Kanye, Elon, Trump, because, being a Republican means never saying you're sorry. That's another thing. They say that's what being a man is to them. That's very manly. You never apologize at all. But you own the libs. Somehow that owns the libs by exposing themselves as the America-hating, anti-democracy, kiss up, kick down, billionaire, fetishizing threats to the enemies from within that the founders warned us about. So so Kanye West in a mask. I mean, this guy he's mentally ill. But okay, that is also the Republican Party. You know, not getting the help he needs. That's also the Republican Party. He goes on Alex Jones' show. Let's see which one. Here's a clip.
They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I like Hitler.
I like Hitler. That was Kanye West.
And now people are like, wait a second, the so-called crime doesn't deserve the punishment. What did I thought?
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love
unreal.
You know, us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
Can you believe that? First of all, Hitler did not invent the microphone, nor highways. Okay? So... and clearly, of course, Kanye West is very ignorant. It's bottomless. His ignorance is bottomless, and the fact that he says, "I'm done with this. Every human being has value." In his mind, every human brings something to the table. And Hitler did good things, and, you know, he did the shit that he didn't do. But it goes to show you his ignorance, because clearly he has no historical knowledge. He doesn't know anything. He knows, but he's trying to desperately search for the superior moral justification for defending Hitler. Saying that I'm done with this demonizing this Hitler guy, and we should all love each other, you see, even Hitler. Except the fact that 60 million human beings died because of that fucking monster? Because he's using the same tactics that the Republicans are employing now here. Because we used to fight fascism, not enable it, not embolden it at home. This is the Republican Party. I like Hitler, he says.
I disagree with both statements, but I get the pros and
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at...
Oh, my goodness.
You see, he looks at Alex Jones when he laughs. I don't like the word evil next to Nazi. He's like, what? What do you mean? See, you too? At two, Alex? How could you say this about other human beings?
Because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
I can't. Where do we live? Where do we live when these fucking people, Kanye, Elon, Trump, this is the same Kanye they were talking about when they lionized him in their tweet, when they said, that's us, that's who we are, Kanye, Elon, Trump. He's always been this. I love Jews, but I also love Hitler. You are stupid. When do we get to the point where we just say enough with these people? I guess we'll have to, you know what it is? We have to do something about media. We won't be able. The only reason we're in this boat is because media is corrupt. Corrupted by the big moneyed interests that would rather have us fighting with each other than actually building a country that works for more than just the 1%.
Oh, man. Well, I have to disagree with that. But listen, we're going to go to break.
Ha ha ha. No, and the thing is, I don't believe you, Alex. You don't like Nazis? You are a Nazi. You're a Nazi. They all are. It looks like a Nazi, quacks like a Nazi. It falls in line like a Nazi. It vilifies minority groups like a Nazi. It bans books like a Nazi. It worships a leader like a Nazi. It values loyalty above expertise like a Nazi. It is a Nazi. It manipulates scientific data like a Nazi. It is indifferent to death like a Nazi. It corrupts government like a Nazi. It lies to the people like a Nazi. It corrupts the courts like a Nazi. It puts unqualified loyalists on the courts. That is like a Nazi, just like a Nazi. That's the problem with this is that Kanye West, as is happening more often in general, he's saying the quiet part out loud. Right? It's true.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and the other thing that is so vile is that he's holding the Bible. They so manipulate people with their bullshit, with their evil. Gott mit uns, I guess that's what he's saying. God is with us.
My goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh, man. Well, I have to disagree with that. But listen, we're going to go to break.
What the fuck is he doing in that mask, too? It is very, he's sick. He's a sick person, but whatever. They are all sick, and they lack the, the courage and the maturity to get help. Get help. Really. Well, guys, I think we're going to hang it up for tonight. We have more to talk about, but we will be back tomorrow. Okay. And it was very nice seeing everybody tonight. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. Nice seeing you, Mark, our millennial correspondent. I hope I see you tomorrow. I'll be taking attendance at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be right back here. God knows what'll happen between now and then. But yeah. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Support our sponsors like APS Radio News. Visit APS Radio News that hosts Tarabuster and shows Tarabuster and supports the show. If you visit APS Radio News, tell Charlie that Tara sent you. And Mark, nice to see you. Mark says, great show. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Mark. Happy to see you, too. I hope to see you tomorrow. And thank you, Winston. Winston says, great show, Tara. Thank you for having one tonight. I needed it. Thank you. I needed it, too. And nice to see you, Pookie's mama, and Eve, and Terry, and Bracktooth, and Sage, Ohio, and Robin, and Winston and Jim and Richard W. And Haiku, of course, our star. Haiku keeps the show going. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ed. And others. I don't mean to miss anybody. Kami. Nice to Kami Hilfiger. Shadow Star. Ace. Arthur. Diffuse. And we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow night. But in the meantime, remember Eve. Eve, nice to see you. We will win. We will win. That's what I was telling Robin. Saying as depressing as it is. When we were talking yesterday. And I was saying it to myself too, because it is very depressing. As depressing as it is, we will win. It is depressing. We're living in a very depressing time. And dangerous too. But we will win. Young people aren't they're more, this is the most progressive generation coming up. And they don't give a shit. They're not Republican. They know what the Republicans are, and that is very encouraging. So I know eventually, I just hope I see it. I hope I live to see it, because that would be satisfying if I could sit on my rocking chair and be like, it was all worth it. So time will tell, but eventually we will win. Because we're on the right side of history. That's for sure. At least we know history. We're on the right side of it. We never have to. We're not the ones who have to apologize for it. You don't see us on our deathbeds calling people and begging people to forgive us for all the harm we've done to the country. Please. Quite the opposite. We will win. We are not. We are on the right side of history. Yes, I was just reading what Eve said. Youth will not go back in time. Exactly. We are on the right side of history. We are on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you all tomorrow night. I'm taking attendance.